Hey, what's up guys, Aaron here, and welcome back to a brand new video on F1 23, and these are some details that you may have missed from yesterday's reveal, because on the official EA F1 23 website, they have done a little kind of, article column about the brand new game. A lot of details are similar to the press release I went through yesterday in that video. If you haven't checked that out, by the way, be sure to do so, because that's pretty much all the info, the main bits of info already covered in here. Today, it's just about extra little bits, because this article has a little bit more detail on some of those features, some of the things we saw from Breaking Point 2, and also some illustrations and more screenshots from in the game, which will be of interest to all of you, I'm sure. I'm skipping on down to the part where it talks about F1 World first of all, because this is actually going to be an important part of the game. Unlike F1 Life, where it was just some useless furniture, F1 World, what they've turned it into, is actually going to affect other parts of the game, and we're going to want to pay attention to it. A lot of this initial stuff in this paragraph is what we read in the press release yesterday about it being a hub to bring together Time Trial, Grand Prix, multiplayer. We've got an ever-changing roster of seasonal content with daily and weekly challenges to get stuck into. Drivers can unlock new liveries, race suits, and helmets as part of the progression system. Already heard that, but, the ever-changing roster of seasonal content kind of probably means it's going to maybe be based off what we're seeing in real life with the Grand Prix, maybe. There might be special holiday events, like for Halloween, for example, or Christmas. They've done that before with the Podium Pass. Quite interestingly, there's been no mention of the Podium Pass whatsoever in this F1 World. So whether there is going to be still a Podium Pass system, I don't know. We're still definitely going to have pit coins, which was something that was mentioned if you pre-order the Champions Edition. But this is the real interesting part. By advancing through F1 World, players will improve their tech level and unlock parts and team member upgrades to equip to the F1 World car, improving various performance areas. As tech level increases, more challenges and events become available. So by advancing through F1 World, players improve their tech level. Now, tech level is a completely brand new term that we've not had in the F1 game so far. Unlocking parts, maybe, because we've unlocked parts before in the My Team career mode with the R&D system. And then team member upgrades to equip to the F1 World car. So team member upgrades, we've had pit crew upgrades before in My Team, but this is team member. So could that mean like team principal, engineers, aerodynamicists, mechanics or whatever? And then this is upgrades to equip to the F1 World car. So there isn't actually a mention of this being for career mode. This is specifically for something of its own thing, like F1 World car stated right there, like we call like the My Team car or the FOM generic car. There is an F1 World car that we can improve. So this is kind of, to me, sounds like there's going to be a system where you can actually improve your car and make it go quicker. There's a tech level, you unlock new parts, new aero parts, drag reduction systems or whatever like that, upgrades. And you may not be able to enter certain events until you improve that. As tech level increases, more challenging events become available. So by unlocking the parts and team member upgrades, you improve your tech level, and you have to be a certain tech level to enter certain races. So it's kind of almost like taking a career mode style upgrading system and almost, the tech level is like the acclaim, but it's not linked to your notoriety. It's linked to how good your car is with the upgrades you've done to it, with the parts and the team member stuff. And based off that acclaim, the tech level, you'll unlock more races and be with people that have similar paced cars with similar upgrades. So that is actually really quite interesting to me. I don't know if it's going to link at all to My Team career mode. There have been a few little rumors and there were a few leaks here and there from news outlets that there was going to be a tech level, there was going to be parts to unlock and team member upgrades. So those leaks were correct. But at the same time, they also mentioned that that also would link into maybe something to do with My Team career mode or sponsors or whatever in the My Team mode. But here we've not heard anything, so we're still waiting on confirmation if any of this is going to be linked to My Team Career mode, or the systems will be there and similar in My Team Career. Because something like this would be epic in the career mode. You know, if there's a tech level that you have to reach to unlock parts, and then you have to go out and actually earn R&D anyway on top of that to then actually purchase the parts, and then having team member upgrades in the career mode, that would be sweet as, you know, being able to upgrade your, you know, your chief of staff, of head of aero, head of, you know, suspension or whatever, or drag and things like that. But that's all just obviously speculation. But what we can confirm is there's definitely, you know, something very interesting going on in this F1 World mode. Like, this genuinely is something that I would get behind, and I would actually maybe make me play multiplayer way more than I do. Like, I only ever play it in open lobbies, but if there was actually a leveling up system where it's kind of almost playing like a career mode, but you race against real people to then continue to upgrade that car, that's awesome. And there's maybe like a, you know, with the different tech levels unlocking certain races, it's almost like there's a, like, you know, like a 0 to 100 sort of thing of, you know, maybe the tech level 100 is the best you can get, and those are like the, you know, the top of the top upper echelon events and races, and it's a proper, like, almost career online system, which would definitely maybe get me to actually play online for one. This linking of online and offline play for the safety rating system, like, if a safety rating system is monitoring you know, how you're driving, you're crashing and stuff like that with AI in Grand Prix and time trial, and linking that to your offline play, there's, you know, that would open up the door maybe for them to cross-link and, you know, maybe use similar systems. I'm not saying that the F1 World car, the upgrades are linked to your My Team car, but I'm saying if they can make a safety rating system link together, then there's definitely a way they can just bring the actual UI system and the mechanics across from F1 World and have this similar unlocking parts and team member upgrades in My Team. They just haven't announced it yet, because that will be a visual thing they'll want to bring out with an extra trailer, or maybe, you know, some actual gameplay of those menus. But that's a wild guess and wishful thinking at this point. But we definitely know there's some sort of career, almost career-like progression in F1 World, which genuinely would make me play multiplayer a lot more than I do right now, because it's actually something to work on and build upon, you know, with, you know, car upgrades and customization and such like that. We're now going to go back up to the top of the article to talk about Breaking Point 2 once again. You know, if you watched my breakdown of the trailer yesterday, we already know quite a bit of info about the story and maybe a little hunch of what's to come, but this now really nails down some details for us. So we're following the careers of the young upstart, obviously Aiden Jackson, and the infamous protagonist Evan Butler, and the pair do find themselves together at Connor Sport. I reckon it's going to be in year 1, so the 2022 year in Breaking Point 2 story, and then in the year 2023, the second season in the story mode, we've got rising star in Formula 2 and sister to Devin, Callie Mayer, who's going to become the first woman ever to win the F2 Championship, and obviously then, ergo, the first woman to get into Formula 1 as a racing driver for a very, very, very long time. So we saw Callie Mayer win the F2 Championship in the trailer. There was a little snippet there. But then there was also some little fighting going on. You know, she was like snapping away at Devin in one of the little CGI cutscenes. She was getting advice from Casper Ackerman, who clearly is some sort of team advisor, kind of like Niki Lauda-esque, like he was at Mercedes, you know, a retired F1 driver advising them. And this kind of basically nails that on. Will Devin or Aiden have to make way for Callie, or will team and family dynamics cause problems? So we saw Aiden in the trailer having issues, breaking down, maybe getting unlucky. Maybe he's going to be pressured to step aside for the incoming F2 champion, Mayer, or will it be Butler that has to step aside? Her own brother, after difficulties, that's going to cause tension, and maybe that was the tension we saw in the trailer. Definitely sounds like a very interesting way to take the Breaking Point story from the first one into number 2. I think definitely the trope of the old driver versus new was kind of done and over. We couldn't revisit that. So I think this is a really interesting way to take it. Having family dynamics makes it very juicy and a bit dramatic, really. You know, very much all the hallmarks of what you want in a DTS-style story mode. mode. And here's an extra screenshot of Callie Mayer in the Connor Sport hat and overalls that we didn't see yesterday, looking at the trailer and what they released. And then there's also a bunch of other screenshots from the game. Obviously, at this point, all these cars are using the brand new generic FOM My Team car with that brand new nose, which looks so much better, and also the side pods look so much more like what we've got on this year's set of cars. Well, the Aston Martin here, but I mean, underneath, around these photos, the rest of the info, very similar to what we saw in the press release. Obviously, we know Las Vegas will be there, Qatar, also the other circuits of Paul Ricard, Algarve, and Portimao are going to be there as legacy tracks for use in different game modes. So that kind of confirms, hopefully, from the get-go, you could technically insert these 3 circuits into your My Team career mode with a custom calendar. 4 new My Team icons, 4 of them. And actually, I'll bring in right now a screenshot. Someone tweeted me this, so thank you very much for this. I guess someone... it looks like an Xbox game page menu, so someone at Xbox fluffed up. I don't know if this is actually true, to be fair, so might have an asterisk over it. I haven't fact-checked it, but it does look like an Xbox splash page description from the F123 page, and on it does have the 4 names of the icons, potentially. I say take it with a pinch of salt, because, to be honest, they are very left field for icons. Obviously, the first one there, Nigel Mansell. Okay, he's an icon of the sport. You gotta have that moustache on the grid in the game somehow. So that would be pretty awesome to have Nige in the game. We've got Pastor Maldonado, which I guess in his own way could be classed as an icon for memes, for jokes when he was in Formula 1, to be fair. But then the other 2 names, Jamie Chadwick and Kamui Kobayashi. Now, Kobayashi, to be fair, in terms of his time in Formula 1, he was loved by so many fans. You know, he was the Japanese starlet at the time. You know, I still remember that time when he got up on the podium at Suzuka and the whole crowd was going, Kamui, Kamui, so loud that the TVs could all hear it echoing around Suzuka. So in a way, he is kind of like, you know, especially for Japanese fans, an icon of the sport for Japanese drivers in Formula 1. But in terms of the merit that of what he achieved in Formula 1, like Pastor Maldonado, were there other former champions, you know, recent, you know, big name drivers like Vettel, like Kimi, that could have been brought back into the icon frame? And then Jamie Chadwick is a very out there one, because Jamie Chadwick has not ever been in Formula 1. I know she's maybe one of the best chances of a woman crossing over into one of the top levels of motorsport. At the moment, she's doing the Indy, the F2 equivalent to IndyCar, I guess, Indy Lights, I think it's called, but correct me if I'm wrong, over on the States. And obviously, she demolished everyone in W Series. So, in terms of having a woman in the icon pack, if you had to pick someone who's currently racing, I guess it would be Jamie Chadwick. But that's a very left field one. Did not see that coming. But if those 4 are the icons, yeah, I mean, fairs. I mean, I would have picked maybe some others alongside Mansell, maybe just other former champions, basically, but maybe things like licensing comes into play. You know, they've got to go out and ask the rights to use their likeness in the game. You know, Mansell probably was obliged to, and others maybe not. You know, I don't know how that works in the background, but yeah, interesting food for thought if that is actually a real screenshot from a splash page of F123. Yeah, and then the rest of this menu is obviously XP boost, bumper pack, Pitcoin. See, Pitcoins is here. So I think the podium pass, even though it hasn't been mentioned, the podium pass will still be there for liveries and such, and you can use Pitcoins in there. Whether that ties into maybe the F1 World upgrade stuff, I really hope not. I hope there's no kind of pay-to-win stuff where you can pay a certain amount to unlock tech level, you know, levels or parts or whatever. I hope it is just a bit of a grind and you actually have to go out there and play it properly. But we'll see. And then the normal edition just has the F1 World Starter Pack and a couple of Pitcoins there. And then here's finally another screenshot that we didn't see at the Monaco Grand Prix from the Alpine. And again, you know, through these screenshots, you know, it may just be the filtering post-process, but there definitely is a bit of a color filter on everything that grounds it a little bit better to what we see on TV and film, like they mentioned with the different color encoding that they're using. Whether that translates into the game, I don't know. But at the moment, these work in progress shots, all of them have that same sort of, you know, slightly yellow encoding tone, like color grading tone. That definitely looks a bit different to last year's game. But those are the little details that we can glean that are extra in this article on the official site compared to what we saw in the press release yesterday. So if you guys have enjoyed this video, found it informative, then be sure to hit that like button. Let me know what you make of those extra details in the comments below. And if you've made it all the way through this video and you've still not watched the other one from yesterday, the full breakdown of the reveal press release and the trailer breakdown, then definitely go check that one out for all the foundational info of F1 23 and what we know so far from the game. It's not even long to go. Mid-June is not far, so I hope the revealing and gameplay and extra info and, you know, photos from the menus and, you know, any news on my team properly is going to be coming in the next couple of weeks, thick and fast, basically. So get subscribed for that. As soon as it comes in, I'll be on it as soon as I can. You know how we do it around here. So yeah, get sub for that. Until that time comes, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.